of this year, Emtech and Hedera Hashgraph came together to build a framework for central bank digital currencies. Ever since then, the discussion around Hedera Hashgraph and the CBDCs has increased. Now, fast forward to November of this year. Shihan Bank to conduct stablecoin international remittance proof of concept on Hedera in partnerships with multinational banks. But this we covered. However, what was happening at the exact same time is the New York Fed launches the New York Innovation Center to support financial technology innovation in central banking. This is where we are going to launch for this video, guys, because this headline is very important. Essentially, on November 29th, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York launched the New York Innovation Center to advance a strategic partnership with the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub. As part of the New York Fed, the NYIC is collaborating with the Federal Reserve System, the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub, and public and private sector experts to validate, design, build, and launch new financial technology products and services for the central bank community. Guys, that is almost word for word with what I am going to show you next. Emtech's website. Their financial product, Central Bank Digital Cash for domestic inclusion and cross-border integration. Now, something else that you'll find of interest. One of their relationships, of course, none other than the US Federal Reserve. Now, for months, I was curious as to why, necessarily how this relationship came about. Then I had to go and dig back into our Project New Dawn white paper, guys, that we broke through, and really pay attention as to who advised and who contributed to the information on this paper, guys. More importantly, some of the members of Emtech's cabinet, okay? And it was one lady in particular that is going to tie a whole lot of loose ends together, guys. This lady is Diane Maurice, advisory board member for Emtech and former Federal Reserve Bank of New York supervisor, guys. She used to work for the Federal Reserve Bank. But not only that, this lady has a tenure that stretches back for 25 years, not only as a member of the US Federal Reserve, but also a part of the central bank in Tunisia and another North American central bank and central banks in the Middle East and the European Union. Okay. This lady has connections to the banking industry. She has been in it for quite some time. Now, what I find interesting about her position is that when you go back even further and you do a little digging to when the partnership with Standard Bank came into the fold, Standard Bank is one of Africa's largest banks by assets that announced their partnership with Hedera Hashgraph. And then you go back here, she's got work with central banks in North Africa. So, Standard, being one of the biggest banks in Africa, obviously has connections to the rest of the banks there. Now, something else I found of interest is that Standard Bank, when it comes to World Economic Forum, that is definitely one of their partners. So, Hedera has a governing council member that is also partnered with the World Economic Forum. Now, going back to the Shihan situation, Shihan Bank. You want to know who owns Shihan Bank, guys? It's Shihan Financial Group, and their biggest investor is BlackRock. But there's another investor there by the name of Lazard Asset Management, also partnered with the World Economic Forum. Now, let me tie this back to Diane and her position with the New York Federal Reserve, guys, as well as Hedera's position in that space of New York. There was a digital asset summit took place in September 14th and 15th. And at this summit, it was a number of high profile individuals, guys, including the likes of Dan Moorhead from Pantera Capital, Mark Yusko from um, Morgan Creek Capital Management, Morgan Creek Digital. Also, we have a couple figures from Morgan Stanley, Fidelity, Fireblocks, Jeremy Allaire from Circle was there. Ollie Harris, Goldman Sachs, Silvergate. We heard a lot about them. Grayscale was there. And I also saw another one of our favorites, Diana Paris, Crypto.com's institutional sales representative. That was interesting, right? But what brings Hedera to this picture is in the form of Yuan Chao, Hedera Council Chief Financial Officer and in Court of Treasury. Now, of course, this connection is kind of loose, but the the places, the names and the places, the people that were also here at this event, guys, we know ever since this event has occurred, and there's our friend Bill from Abra, uh, certain companies have risen to the top. BNY Mellon, another company that popped up a lot in this research, guys, because BNY Mellon is heavily tied with the Federal Reserve, as well as BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, so forth and so on. So we had a collection of traditional finance, legacy finance, and the future of finance working together. This summit, it illustrated the relationships that are going on behind the scenes, guys. Now, we're going to go back to the story of Emtech, and this is another article here from 2020. This is just illustrating how far back Emtech has been focused on this particular direction, guys. It's their focus on financial market infrastructures, which is a very important term. Okay, essentially the financial market infrastructure is what is needed by the Federal Reserve. This is what they're looking to innovate on top of. Okay, so why am I bringing you all of this? Well, I think that this brings us one step closer to a form of central bank digital currency being built on Hedera Hashgraph in the United States. Because another thing that is prevalent in her backstory is that she also worked for the central bank in San Francisco. So she's got ties here in the United States. Of course, Caramel Cadet, IBM here in the United States, Emtech, Federal Reserve. So the relationships are there, guys. And with them building this innovation center to support financial technology innovation with the objective, with the objective in collaboration with public and private sector experts to design, build, and launch new financial technology products. Come on, guys. The terminology is also lining up here. Okay. Now, like I said, I really did some digging on this all day today, guys. And here's one thing I'm going to leave you with. Coming up December 8th, guys, we were talking about Shinhan and we are talking about Standard. Cross-border settlements transactions, they are having a conference. Okay, this will be live on YouTube on December 8th, and you can see here the participating members: blockchain innovation developer at Standard Bank, blockchain project manager at Shinhan Bank. Okay, they're going to be coming together to discuss stable coins and this network that's going to connect the Asian Pacific region as well as the South African region. They have a member, Emtech has a member on their board that has both experience in the Asian Pacific region as well as the African regions, also in the United States. So, just judging by history, guys, and how these relationships tend to pan out, the fact that they have a former Federal Reserve member on their board, they already have the established relationship with the US Federal Reserve, and they're providing the one product that they are looking for in the form of central bank digital cash. Now, the Innovation Center is being built. We're getting one step closer here, guys. And not to mention, if we take a look at some of Hedera's governing council members, some of their partners, okay, we have some central banks here, course, in the form of DBS, Standard, Shinhan, okay, as well as IBM, guys. But one thing I did discover also that I found of interest is that now they have completed this circle, and there are at least 13 more members to be added to this. We already have Shinhan, we already have Standard, we already have DBS. There are many relationships being formed here, guys. And we just are only really seeing the surface of them all. Okay. So these are pieces. Okay. I said we were going to go down the rabbit hole, guys. And you can see that's what we did. There's nothing at the moment that's really concrete, with the exception of Miss Diane Maurice here. Because of her connection to the Federal Reserve Bank and Emtech, now they're launching a innovation center to support financial technology innovation. It just appears to me that Hedera is in the right position right now, because all of the other companies that are on the governing council are also, number of them, part of the World Economic Forum, which is also owned they're also owned by BlackRock and Lazard Asset Management, which is also partnered with the World Economic Forum. So guys, I said this was going to be a rabbit hole video. These pieces they're in a straight line, they're in a row, but I'm trying to get them connected. So I'm hoping you guys can help me. However, if you found value in all this information, though, guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, of course, so that you never miss another one. And you know where to reach me: Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I'll be down in the comment section, of course. And as always, guys, you know what I'm going to tell you at the end of every video: have a great day, have a prosperous day. Most importantly, we making this money. I'll see y'all in the next one.